So now let's talk about the QIPCO Sussex Stakes, which features the matchless talent of Frankel. And Eddie, it was 12 months ago in this race, by defeating Canford Cliffs, that he demonstrated the substance of his talent, not just that precocious brilliance that we saw in the QIPCO 2000 Guineas.
It was his first run against the older horses, and Canford Cliffs had won the race the year before, but he put him firmly in his place. He sprinted away to win by 5 lengths. It was the first time we really felt that we were in the presence of a horse who would become one of the greats.
So the question is, for all the horses coming up against him, Steve, is there a way to beat him?
He'll have to underperform, Lydia. I mean, it's like everything else, whether it be human athletes or equine athletes. Every horse, every person can get beat. You know, Usain Bolt gets beat. But if he runs to his best, he won't get beat. It's as simple as that.
Do you think there's a tactics angle, Eddie?
I don't. I think those have been explored by other people. I mean, Aidan O'Brien's tried it with Celebration. Other people have tried to put in spoilers in terms of pacemakers, and it just hasn't worked. And in fact, last year in the race, they didn't run Bullet Train, the pacemaker who has accompanied Frankel on several of his excursions. They probably didn't need to. It's difficult to see how he can be beaten, as Steve says, if everything is right with the horse himself.
And this partnership between Bullet Train and his half-brother Frankel just works like a well-oiled machine these days. It's not just on the racecourse, it's at home as well.
Yeah, he's the sacrificial lamb, and as I say, I am convinced he hates his brother. It's the Cain and Abel of horse racing, I think. It's, you know, every morning he leads him in a gallop, every morning he gets beat in a gallop, then they go to a racecourse, and every time Frankel goes by him, it's even worse if it's your younger brother as well. It must be, you know, he must be having psychiatric help to get him through it. But,
sounds like you're speaking with feeling.
No, I'm the youngest, actually. I think all my brothers hate me, so I think we're fine with that. Although I haven't got any talent, so they're probably safe. But I think he's probably been a great asset to him. I really do, because we keep talking about how Frankel has not been straightforward in terms of, from the beginning, he was a bundle of energy, he wanted to get on with it. And I think, obviously, what they've done at home with Bullet Train leading him and leading him in a lot of his races has helped to bring Frankel to the Frankel we now know and love.
The Sussex Stakes has been transformed from a procession back into a horse race by the decision of Sheikh Mohammed to supplement Farhh. Let's hear now from the racing manager, Simon Crisford, about the Godolphin hopeful.
The timing of the race, first and foremost, fits into his programme really well. Just 3 weeks and a few days after his great run at Sandown, we felt at Sandown that he didn't really quite get the trip. I know it's a stiff finish at Sandown, and he's come from a little bit out of his ground, and he's used a lot of energy up to get there to challenge Nathaniel, but he didn't finish the race as strongly as we had hoped he could do. So the timing of the race is good. Obviously Frankel's not good, but having said that, you know, we're keen to give it a go. The only time when Farhh would have raced against Frankel was at Doncaster as a 2-year-old, when he reared up and couldn't take part. And at the time I remember being really disappointed that he wasn't in the race as the early part of that conditions race unfolded. But by the end of the race, my view was perhaps we sort of dodged a bullet there. But having said that, Farhh got quite badly injured in the gates that day, and it curtailed his 3-year-old campaign a lot. And he has to have a lot of gate schooling, because ever since that occasion he's been quite concerned about the gates. So, you know, that's still in the back of our minds, and he still gets a lot of gate schooling on a daily basis. But he's been perfect since his run at Royal Ascot. But that's not to say that anything could spark him off, so we have to be careful with him. He's so lightly raced because of the problems we've had with him, that it's taken this long to get him to where he is, which is a regret.
And any conditions that would worry you about Farhh?
Well, yes, if it was too firm, because of the issues we've had with him, we would have to reconsider our position. But the clerk of the course does such a great job at Goodwood, so that I think we'd all be quite confident that it'll be perfect racing ground.
So the Eclipse and the Prince of Wales's runs, when he was up to Group 1 company, were both over 10 furlongs. He now drops back to a mile. Is he equally effective, more effective at 1?
Well, he was electrifying in the first Cup over a mile, first time out, and he won by 6 lengths. Now people would say that was only a handicap, but he's shown since then in 2 Group 1 races how effective he can be, albeit over a longer trip.
He was unfortunate at Royal Ascot, and then he ran a cracker to be second in the Eclipse. You know, he is a genuine top-class horse. So the he poses the threat of any top-class horse. But the trouble is, he meets a horse who is above top class. That's the point, and who has dealt with other top-class horses with ease. And I suspect Farhh will go the same way, but it's great for the race that he's running because he is a genuinely good opponent.
Strong Suit is on a massive recovery mission, Eddie. He's been thumped on both of his starts so far this year.
Yeah, and he's never really convinced as a miler. 7 furlongs is his winning distance, certainly since he was a 2-year-old. And I don't think that he's got the stamina for a mile, certainly not against a horse like Frankel.
It's a stiffer mile at Ascot. It was heavy ground in the July Cup. Can you come up with excuses for Strong Suit, or has he, for some reason, lost the ability that he showed last year?
Well, the pluses are that he acts on the track. He won the Lennox last year, but I thought he showed, me at least, I'd rather have a sustained period of him sprinting than I would over a mile. I don't think he'll make it to the top as a miler. Stamina is his Achilles heel.
Gabriel is a 3-year-old, Eddie, who's progressing all the time. They took a punt, they supplemented him with the St James's Palace Stakes, and I think he rewarded them with a really good 5th.
Yeah, he stepped forward from his effort at Haydock the time before, and he looks progressive, but he's got to make a whole new leap forward in this race.
I'm out of credible opposition, I'm out of jokes. Frankel wins.
Yes, there's only one winner of the QIPCO Sussex Stakes, Frankel.
Frankel again, and easily.